Hey guys, I wasn't sure if I should make this video or not, cause it's kind of serious. Um, okay, so Chris Herron, a former basketball player for the Boston Celtics, came to Illinois and was talking to some of the freshman high schoolers, and so I wanted to talk to you about it, how it went. Oh, and today's my birthday, by the way, September 13th. And yes, my birthday was on a Friday the 13th before. It was actually kind of good. I get lucky. So yeah, not that kind of lucky if you're thinking dirty, but yeah. Okay, anyways. But yeah. So he was talking about his story, and he lost people he loved because of drug or alcohol use. And so what happened was he was basically telling us everything that happened when he first started, like when he was 18. His friend offered him some, and two girls in their dorm room, and they were like, oh, it's fun. Okay, anyways, they were like, oh, it's fine, it won't do anything. So he was like, okay, so he tried it. And that's how it all started for him, and then it ended up being to where, like, he couldn't control himself around drugs and everything, and he lost his family for a while. Like, his mom died at a young age. I forgot what he said, like, how she did, but his dad was obsessed with alcohol, so like an addict. And then he was talking about how he lost his wife and children for a while because he was so addicted, and like he had to go to therapy or whatever. And then he stopped eventually around 32, so he has done it for a while. And then he decided that he was going to go to schools and tell people his story and make sure that doesn't happen to anybody else, or like at least stop some people. And he was saying how bullying and all of that isn't good either. And he started talking about how, like, at one school there was a girl that was raising her hand, and people were just laughing at her and telling, like, doing hand gestures so she would put her arm down and stuff, and saying, don't call on her, there's no point. And then she ended up putting her arm down eventually, and was just like, never mind. She ended up emailing Chris and saying, see, there's no point in anybody trying because they are just gonna get picked on. I figured I would just tell you, or like example this for you. Yeah. And then at another school there was a girl, and she was in a wheelchair. She got taken to the front of the room, I guess, and there were people laughing at her, and I think how she got in the wheelchair, is like she was getting bullied so bad that she decided to try and commit suicide, and she ended up trying to hang herself, but the rope ended up breaking and it paralyzed her from the neck down. And yeah, but I just thought I would share like some of this stuff with you guys in case like there's younger viewers or older people watching that thought about doing these things or do these things. Like, just be yourself. Don't do that. It can ruin your life, I guess. Because like, when I was little, my father, he was an alcohol addict, and like, he wasn't there when I was born, and he ended up going to jail. So yeah, just go down the right path. Don't do that stuff. And I just want to let you know that it can ruin your life or other people's lives. So yeah. Like, it seriously can. Because like, yeah, it totally ruined everything. Like, I still don't see my father, which, I mean, that's kind of his fault, because he's the one who decided to do all that, and then Chris decided to change so he can like actually see his family. But his father's like 62 now, I guess. He's 62, and he still is like, he still drinks, and he don't really want his kids around that, because like, if they eventually do it, that and get addicted and stuff, because he has like a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, and an 8-year-old, and if Chris started when he was a freshman in high school, which is also why he was talking to freshmen, then he don't want his 15-year-old girl to become an addict. He don't want any of his family or anybody else to deal with that kind of stuff. And when he spoke to people at the assembly I went to, there might have been 2 or 3 people out of like 300 people laughing. Like, there were only 2 or 3 that were actually laughing, and then some people were like looking down, doing this and crying and stuff, like they were doing something around there. And like, he's even gotten an email from a girl, like literally like changed her life. Like, she was getting bullied, and she would cut her arms, and then she started like cutting her legs and everything. And so she would wear long sleeves and make sure it was all covered so nobody's seen. But then when he spoke in front of all them people, and including her, she decided to be confident, because she had a father that was addict and mom who didn't really do anything. She just stayed in her room and basically complained and cried and stuff. And so the girl didn't really have new cool clothes and everything. And so she got picked on for it. And she finally sat at a cool kids table and she said, like, this is not cool. Like, you can't just pick on people. You have no idea what it does. And then she lifted up her sleeve and showed them what she had done. And then, because, like, they were picking on her, so she showed them what it did. And she was like, it's not my fault. None of this is my fault. And all that. And, like, she didn't get picked on anymore. Like, they respected her. Like, because she stood up for herself and she was confident. And I guess, like, they didn't want anybody doing that to themselves or something. I don't know. But I hope this meant anything to you. I just thought I should tell about this, and I hope it did help with you if you're going through anything. Because, like, it is serious. And I hope my videos help you with anything or whatever, I don't know. Just comment below. It's like whatever, a story you have, or like it doesn't matter. Just comment whatever. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.